What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the TV Toycast YouTube channel, and today we are unboxing once again from McFarlane Toys. A lot of McFarlane lately, but they've been putting out a lot of good stuff, so what are you going to do? But it's from McFarlane Toys. It is Lex Luthor from the Super Friends line. No secret, I am loving this line. Wave 2, I believe, is hitting stores now. I haven't found it yet, but hopefully soon. I'm planning to pick up all 6 of those, including the Chase Superman, so very excited about that. Speaking of Superman, that'll go great with this figure. Of course, Lex here in his trademark kind of purple and green colors that he wore during the cartoon. So really, really fun line. Really looking forward to it. I talked about this in the last couple of videos because I've already unboxed Green Lantern, and I've unboxed Batman from this line, but I love the weathering look of the cards here. I hope they keep that for all the waves. I think that is just super cool. Of course, DC Comics, Super Friends there. Got a nice roster of good guys right there, so I imagine all of these will be in the line. Of course, we have Green Lantern and Batman. Superman's going to be in Wave 2, but actually no Flash here. So I've heard rumors Aquaman's coming, so you have to imagine that. I'm sure, of course, Wonder Woman's not too far behind as well. We've got a couple accessories. We've got a trading card there. And, of course, on the back, even more characters. Look at all those Super Friends. A bunch of different characters. Will we get them all? McFarlane, of course, losing the DC license. I've heard like mid to late 2026, so it's still a ways away. But it'll be interesting to see what happens, of course. This isn't even the villains, though. I would love to see so many of the villains. I know we obviously got in Wave 1, we got Lex Luthor here, we got Sinestro and the Riddler, and actually Universe of Evil Batman would technically be a villain as well. And I think in Wave 2, Captain Cold, Toyman, Cheetah, all those are part of it as well. With, of course, we have Superman and, was Flash? Yep, Flash are also in Wave 2, as well as the Universe of Evil Superman. So really cool line, man. But this is like I think what's fun about this is the classic look of these characters. This is how a lot of us remember these characters. And, you know, obviously, it's funny because me and Travis were not real complimentary of the Batman 66 line simply for the price point. We're like, man, based on the figures you're getting, I don't think that's worth it. And you know, it's not. Let's be honest, figures are expensive, and we all spend probably way too much money on these. But at the same time, you have to kind of, we say you have to vote with your wallet, right? I think Kyle Peterson also uses that phrase. And you have to buy what makes you happy. These, to me, are super fun. So, no pun intended for the Super Friends. But I'm going to pick them up. The first time I ever saw a Super Friends cartoon when I was a kid, it was a rerun, of course. But I was just like, what? It blew my mind to have all these heroes teaming up together to face the Legion of Doom. You know, and I would love to see some Super Friends, kind of deluxe figures. Give me Solomon Grundy. Give me Gorilla Grodd. I don't know if they'll be more expensive. I hope not. I imagine they will, because that's kind of the nature of the business anymore. But I'd love to see those guys in this line somewhere. But there's a lot they can do with this line, and like I said, I hope it continues. I have heard rumor that McFarlane won't completely lose DC, and then he might be able to get some secondary lines, like maybe the Page Punchers, maybe the retro style. So that's possible, I guess, as well. You know, I've recently been unboxing some Batman the Animated Series figures, and I'm not really liking those as much. And a lot of them have, the Batgirl had really small feet, and I don't know how many attempts to put her on the wheel that I rotate them to show kind of all the angles. Yeah, she fell at least 5 or 6 times. Enough times where I was like, I can feel myself getting frustrated. I'm usually pretty level-headed, unless I'm in traffic, and then I get very angry. But I was getting angry because I was like, oh my gosh, this is never going to work. I'm trying to, should I tape her feet down? Should I use some sticky tack? What am I going to do here? But again, with figures these days, we're not playing with them, right? So articulation's great, but I don't do figure photography. I simply pose these guys. And so something like this for a Super Friends line is perfectly fine with me. I don't need anything more than that. I think that is perfectly fine, and I think it's great. So, again, these may not be for everybody, but for me, they are super, super cool. But let me know in the comments down below if you're picking up the Super Friends line. I think they're great. These, of course, have been at Walmart and Target. Big Bad has had them as well. I do know a lot of these figures did sell out on Big Bad, but it's weird. Travis actually had me pick up, this is not opening very easily, all of these figures for him. And so I was like, well, you know, I've seen them everywhere, so I didn't realize you were having trouble finding them. Let me go see what I can find. In one day, over the course of probably 3 or 4 stores, I found all 6 figures, oddly enough. And so he's like, I'll pay you. And I was like, well, just wait let me hit another store. Let me see where we're at. And put that tape right there. Twist ties. Pop that one right off. Showed it. Who's Boss? This one's right across the waist. It's almost like they're trapping him in a freaking amusement park right here. Let's see. Come on. Come on now. Not even using the scissors. Just powering through. Making it happen. That's what we do here. But I was like, yeah, let me see what I can find. And I hit up a bunch of stores, and oddly enough, found all 6 of them. I think I found the chases like right away, so it was quite a wild time. But that's a classic Lex Luthor there. Very, very menacing. Of course, not a lot of articulation in the legs here. We got the knee joint, and then at the waist, so not a lot there. But again, they could have probably reused some pants here. We got original molds on the pants, which I do enjoy. Again, pretty stiff. We do got movable shoulder joints there, so you can go up and down and kind of around a little bit. With his costume, it doesn't do a lot, but it is a little bit of movement, so not bad. Like I said, very stiff joints here. Head articulation, of course, and of course waist. So they're not overly articulated, but again, I say I don't think these need to be. Personal opinion. Everyone's going to be different on this. I think these are over $20 now. I think they were 18 when they were Batman 66, and that seems like too much, and now they're over 20. But I'm like, oh no, it's all good. I can pay that now. Again, a lot of it if they were a lot more money, I may not be into it. But anytime you see a figure and you like it, you just have to buy it sometimes. These are kind of rounded edges on the cards. I don't know if I like that at all. It's a little, not as good. Card's a little flimsier than I would prefer, but still cool to get. Lex Luthor, of course, looks just like the figure. No complaints there. And of course, you got a checklist of Series 1, which is always cool, with Batman, Lex Luthor, the Green Lantern, the Riddler, which is the Platinum, and Sinestro. But no mention of the Universe of Evil Batman, I guess because that's more of a variant. I don't know. Not a huge deal for me, but, you know, it is something. We got a bit of a communicator-looking thing right here. It's about a couple of buttons. I imagine he can make that happen. And some type of interesting weapon. I don't know. I don't even know what you would say that is. But we're going to put it in his hand. Why not? Why not put it in his hand? I imagine this is the handle. This is what it would seem like. It looks like he's got a trigger finger that's not want to go in there. Come on now. There we go. But overall, pretty cool figure. I mean, this is a fun Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor is always one of those classic characters. I remember watching the original Superman movie as a kid, and that was like my only real interpretation of what Lex Luthor was. He's not wanting to stand very well. Let's see if we can adjust those feet a bit. He's wanting to lean. I think that weapon is putting him over the balance. All right, let's see. There we go. It's all about balance. All about the balancing act. But I remember seeing the Superman movie as a kid. Put his communicator right there. And, you know, knowing Lex Luthor was bald, and then later watching Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, and John Shea played Lex Luthor in that. Of course, he didn't want to shave his head. That was his big thing. Like, no. Why would Lex Luthor be bald? It's like, well, how about you shut up, because that's the story, pal. And, but yeah, he didn't want to be a bald Lex Luthor. So I remember always being like, well, that's weird. Like, to me, like, you need certain characteristics for a villain, right? Lex Luthor is bald because why wouldn't he be bald, right? He needs something about him that's a little bit off. And, I think it kind of makes for a fun story. I always thought Michael Rosenbaum did a great job on Smallville. That was always a really fun Lex Luthor. Kind of an underrated Lex Luthor, as a matter of fact. But, again, these cartoon versions are great. Superman, the animated series, was also really good back in the 90s. Of course, on the heels of Batman, the animated series, which was excellent. But Superman, always really good too. I think Clancy Brown played Lex Luthor's voice there. I always thought he had a good Lex Luthor voice of like that politician kind of thing. That's kind of what they did with Lex Luthor, where he was great to the people, but behind the scenes, not the nicest person, So very, very interesting stuff here. But this Lex Luthor is a really, really cool figure. And like I said, I'm really liking the Super Friends line, and I'm trying to get these all unboxed relatively soon while keeping a variety for the channel, which is not the easiest thing in the world, of course, because I only do 3 a week. Could I do 5 a week? Yes, but I don't want to overexert myself or do too many videos because I know it's a lot, and it would be hard for anyone to keep up with because there's so many videos out there all the time. But overall, I still got Sinestro. Let's see, Sinestro. Who else do I have to unbox? The Riddler and Universe of Evil Batman. So those will all be coming up hopefully in the next few weeks, of course. And then Series 2 and everything else behind that. And I'm going to get a couple of 66 Batman figures to sprinkle them in here or there. I think that would be kind of fun. But let me know what you guys think of the Super Friends line if you're picking these up. Drop those in the comments down below, and what you think of the line in general, and if you think it's worth the money. Is it worth the money? Probably not, but I do like them a lot, so what are you going to do? But it's been a good time here on the channel. A lot of cool things unboxed. Last week I unboxed from McFarlane Toys, the Batman the Animated Series Wave 3 Batgirl figure. That was really cool. I unboxed that on Monday. On Wednesday, from Boss Fight Studio and the Cerazoic Warriors, I unboxed Range Brachian, I think was his name. Really cool dinosaur warrior guy, so that was really fun. And then on Friday, I went back to the wrestling world with Epic Toys at Sushi Onita from the Wrestling Megastars line. Cool retro figure of a Japanese wrestler that has never really had that many figures, so it's always kind of cool to do that. So check those out as well. Also check out What's on the Pegs, dropping every Saturday. And Tales of the Toy Box, Episode 5, all about the Masters of the Universe, may already be up. It'll be up very soon. If it is not, it'll be Episode 5. Looking forward to that. And then, of course, also check out the TB Toycast podcast every Thursday, wherever you get your podcasts. We have a different main event covering a specific toy line, as well as all the news and happenings of the toy world. So me and Travis always having a lot of fun. Over 200 episodes and counting of the TB Toycast, so check that out as well. That's it. That's all I got. Thank you guys for checking out the TB Toycast YouTube channel. That is Lex Luthor from the Super Friends, and we will see you in the toy aisle.
Yeah. One more time. It ain't over till I say it's over. So lock the cage up, cause this is a takeover. The wait's over. If this the final time we meet, then you'll be on your back on my feet. Then I'll tip the cage over as a hangover. I'm super fly so I can splash off the top. And I can shut down the shot.